The Erie Canal is a lot of things. It is this historic waterway. It changed the landscape of upstate New York, both figuratively and literally. It was a man-made ditch that moved water in places it hadn't been before. But then it also created these cities. The Erie Canal is known as the mother of cities. So all along the shores of the canal, cities were born, including the city of Syracuse. But also Rochester, Utica, Buffalo. Buffalo was nothing before the Erie Canal came. So it's important for people, especially people up here in central New York or upstate New York, to realize that the places that they live in, the world as they know it, exists because of this body of water. So it was 200 years ago this 4th of July that the first shovelful of dirt was turned over in Rome, New York. The Appalachian Mountain Range goes from Canada to, I believe, Alabama. It's giant. We often call it a formidable barrier. And it is. It's a giant mountain range that goes all the way down the east coast of the country, and there are very few breaks in those mountains. There is one pretty significant break at the Mohawk River Valley. People noticed that break and thought, that's a way in. We can get into the country right through this river valley.
And because the natural river already created a cut through those mountains, it is the most ideal place to put an artificial river. It's sort of mankind's improvement on what nature has already provided.
It was transformative in the real true sense of the word. There was land here, then there was water. That's transformation, and it was powerful.
It wasn't just towns that were on the canal route that were affected by the canal. It made it easier to, even if you were shipping your goods overland, it made it easier to get to some point where you could put it on the waterway, which was the fastest means of transport at the time.
The effect of that was even beyond New York State, because the story of Cleveland, Detroit, Chicago, their story is Buffalo's story.
In the most simplest of terms, the Erie Canal was a huge success. The reason why people in the Midwest or the western part of the United States live there now is because the Erie Canal was a success that opened up the western part of what is now the United States.
Well, I think of it as the internet of its time. The way the internet has flooded us with information, the canal did the same thing in its time.
Ideas would move up and down the canal, religious ideas, movements. That's how news was distributed. You'd stop at a lock, voters would exchange information with the lock tenders, and word would spread.
So New York State built it and funded it all by themselves, and so therefore reaped all the benefits by themselves. And so New York State became a powerful state within our young country. And really, we've remained so since. I don't know if people realize when they drive on I-90 how historic that route is. And I often tell people, when you're driving on the thruway and you see a sign that says Erie Canal, and then you cross over a bridge, they're really talking about the Erie Canal. Like, that's it, the real thing. The Erie Canal still exists. When we think of it as this historic waterway. It still very much is a vibrant body of water. It's changed. It's no longer a man-made ditch. It now is mostly canalized rivers and lakes, but it still goes all the way from Albany to Buffalo.
So this year in 2017, we're beginning the celebration of the bicentennial. We've got a good 8 years to celebrate, because by 2025, we'll have the bicentennial when they open the entire length of the Erie Canal.
I think that some of the pride that goes along with the Erie Canal has diminished some over the years. I think it's going to come back up. I think that people are starting to realize what an impressive and really cool thing we have here. Really, we've got this 8-year-long time to build up momentum, build up interest, so that in 2025, everybody in the world will know that upstate New York is the place to be to celebrate the Erie Canal.
And we all love celebrations, but using it to go forward, that's what's important. Next year, will we still be interested? 10 years from now, will we still be excited? What if it went away? What could replace it? That would be of equal beauty, of equal utility, of equal value, not only for us, but for anybody who comes and visits. And if anyone's having a problem with answering that question, the answer is zero. Nothing. It's one of the few artificial creations of humankind that's in harmony with nature. It looks like this was always here.
I think it's a part of everybody's story, and they should come and they should enjoy it and recognize its national significance.
I think it's really important that New Yorkers and people from around the world know that you can come to New York and you can still use this world-changing waterway. It's still here.